Good morning, friends. Brian King here. If you happen to be watching me live on Facebook, please type #live. If you're watching the replay, please type #replay. The conversation that I have with my clients quite often is how to reconcile the life they have versus the life they believe they should be having. And one of the things we do as human beings, and our culture doesn't help us with this, is to construct this fantasy of an ideal life, the perfect home, the perfect relationships, and so on. And very rarely does the fantasy match the reality, because whatever script or story we come up with in our mind, others aren't obligated to buy into, and yet we want them to. I've seen marriages ruined because of the princess fantasy. There's a man that's supposed to come and bring you flowers and every day and is supposed to rescue you and take care of you and meet all your needs. And this isn't communicated to the husband when they're dating, or the boyfriend. And then when they're married and the fantasy doesn't happen, there's this resentment, there's this criticism, honey, you don't love me, and so on and so forth. And it's simply because of this uncommunicated fantasy that this gentleman did not meet up to, and yet he's blamed for all of it. And one of the more difficult fantasies to let go of is the one of the perfect child. The one where your kid's going to be the one to hit the home run, is going to have all the friends over, and you're going to make cookies and lemonade. And, as the father, you're going to go and you're going to root for your son, who's the quarterback, and all this stuff. And then you get a less than perfect child, maybe one that has special needs. And you're in denial about this because the child you were given does not measure up with the fantasy. And what do you do about all this? Now, one thing that I've had to work on for going on 48 years now is the fact that the fantasy of everything I wanted to be doing, hiking and exploring the mountains and going along creeks where there's no trail and just enjoying nature. And this is a fantasy I've had for decades, but I was not given the body to do this. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have multiple sclerosis, and some days I have a hard time just walking across the room. And I was bitter for so long and angry because my fantasy, gosh darn it, I'm supposed to have a reality that matches what I am projecting upon the world and demanding of it. Well, I could sit in that fantasy for years and years and years and be mad and bitter and tell myself daily how my life isn't good enough and how this is unacceptable and be miserable. Because depending on who you ask, these are things I largely can't change, or I have made repeated efforts to change that have not been successful. And there comes a point where acceptance is the healthiest thing and most respectful thing you can do for yourself, where you basically say, man, I've been spending all this time insisting upon my fantasy that I am absolutely missing out on the joy of the moment I'm having. That there is so much here to be grateful for, but I'm missing it because I'm doing all of this not good enough thinking. It's not good enough because it doesn't measure up to my fantasy. It's not good enough because it's not like this moment I had 5 years ago when my body was more able, and because it's not like that moment, it's not good enough. When the reality is, this moment has plenty of beauty. It has plenty to be grateful for, but you're bringing all of this noise into it. And you're not seeing it as it is, and you're not realizing just how good life is. Life doesn't have to be the ideal to be good enough. It doesn't have to give you everything you imagined or projected must be there for you to be happy. These criteria that you set up, it has to be this way, this way, this way, or this way, or I can't be happy. Nonsense. All you need to be happy in the moment is to be grateful for it. To be grateful for whatever it gives you. Even in the moments when you're in pain, you can say to yourself, I never realized I could feel so intensely. Yeah, it can be overwhelming at times, and you certainly don't want to have pain forever, but you can find comfort in the temporariness of it because there are moments in between the pain where you can catch your breath. There are people that are there to care for you, and you can be grateful for them. Easier said than done. Yes, I know. But I'm just offering you alternatives to living in that place of not good enough, not good enough. It could be better. It should be better. So those are just my thoughts on this morning. Hopefully this is helpful for you. If so, let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to hear from you and have a conversation about this. And remember, these are the things that I help people with every day. And if these are things that you think I can help you with, set up a time for us to talk. You can do that at briancanhelp.com. And please share this with somebody you think can benefit from it. But until next time, this has been Brian. And remember, life is good.